Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Put.
Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome back to First Contact Radio. Today is Friday, 20th of May, 2016. May 20th, 2016. So we've come to the end of a sun cycle. At 9:36 a.m., our sun moves into the next sun cycle, sun phase, which would be Gemini, coming out of Taurus into Gemini. So we've been in an Earth sign, getting ready to go into an air sign where we'll be for the next month. Some of the aspects that we dealt with prior to this moment were a trine between our moon sign Scorpio and Neptune, took place at 1:31 a.m. We've had a sextile between Jupiter and Scorpio at 4:39 a.m. and a opposition between Mercury and Scorpio took place just a little while ago at 6:48 a.m. So what do all of these mean? Well, right up here, Neptune tells us we need to take a new perspective of things. So it's an opportunity for us to look at things in a different way. And in doing so, our water, the world of water, Scorpio, is now having to have an opportunity to see how it's going to make a transition. Remember, Scorpio is all about transition. It's tarot card of death. It's about transitioning from one form to the next, but it's dealing with the emotional body, the world of the emotions. So in the realm of the emotions, we need to take a new perspective on what's pushing our buttons here. And the trine says there's nice and positive energy. Perhaps explore the dreams that you might have had last night if you were asleep at this time. Jupiter came in to expand things, expand what it is that we're feeling with these emotions. And then the opposition here with Mercury is giving us the opportunity to take a look at how we want to communicate. What are the ways in which we want to communicate into the world as opposed to the way that we were doing so. Okay, so here's our moon sign right here in Scorpio. Directly across from it is Mercury, which is in Taurus, this earth sign that we've just come out of here. So we're communicating what's going on in the physical way, in the physical world, wanting to understand that a little bit better with the Taurian ideas. And our unconscious desire is to be able to bring that which is underneath the surface to the top in a peaceful way that's going to be able to help us to grow past whatever our limitations and challenges are. And so, of course, taking a new perspective on things, being aware of the expansion that takes place are all part of it. And as we move into the sun sign, our conscious mind now moves into the phase where we start thinking about how we are going to communicate into the world, the choices that we're going to make. The tarot card that relates to this is the card of the lovers. Okay, a male and a female, which represents the creations that God made, the male and the female, the masculine and the feminine, the conscious and the unconscious mind, and then you have the angel, which is the superconscious. So what you have is the male aspect, our conscious mind, looks to our unconscious, and it is our hope that our unconscious is looking towards the higher self. If that is the case, then we are in a nice, good, peaceful harmony, a nice, good use of that energy between ourselves and that spiritual realm. Now, with the card of the lovers comes the idea of choices. Okay, the choices that we have to make. We need to be able to think about all of the opportunities we have available to us and make wise choices, because each of those choices has an effect on what's coming after us. So over the course of this next month, that's what we're focusing on, these choices. It's the card of the Lovers because it also deals with relationships. Our choices are like relationships. Okay, we have to make wise choices in all of the relationships that we have, and if we do so, then our life is more peaceful. If we make bad choices in the type of relationships we have, then we have challenges that we have to deal with. These relationships are just simply the choices in everyday operation. We have relationships with everything, with people, with our work, with our hobbies, with whatever it is that's in the world. There's a relationship that's going on, and therefore we always have a choice how we are going to deal with it. Are we going to deal with it from a higher perspective, or are we going to get caught down in some lower perspective, or someplace in between? It's all up to us. So the opportunities are certainly available. And then at 12:16 p.m., deep transformation comes from Pluto. Our moonstein is still in Scorpio, where it will be the rest of today and into tomorrow. So we're going for that deep transformation once we get into this afternoon. Transformation of who we are, what we're about, and it's transforming within Scorpio, which is already in the transformative phase. So I think this could be a good weekend filled with emotions, a lot of thoughts, how we're going to communicate. And then, of course, we have this full moon coming up tomorrow. Okay, right now the full moon is in the 98.4% position. 2:14 tomorrow afternoon will be at the full moon completely. However, if you look at it tonight, it'll look pretty full. And over the next couple days, it shall remain the same. But tomorrow, officially 2:14 in the afternoon, California time, is when it is actually full. The 20th here is 12 Lyre on the Jewish calendar. Omer count day 27 tonight, beginning 28. The daily thought for today is Dad as tutor. Imagine a dad tutoring his child, as any tutor will teach a student. Imagine the child does well, so the dad returns a smile of approval, as any good tutor would do. But then Dad can no longer restrain himself to his role of tutor. He laughs. He slaps his child affectionately on the back. They both laugh together, not as a teacher and a student, but only as a father and a child could do. Dad saying in his laugh, "I've always had this pride, this delight in you, that you are my child. I only needed this excuse to show it. Above, the one who is infinite and who has created all things awaits his chance to laugh with us." On the Dreamspell Oracle, we're still in the wave spell of the seed. We are at the human. The 9 human is the solar tone of intention. Human's all about free will, so we have our intention of free will guided by our ability to shine bright the light within us, shine the beauty within us. The hand is here to help us accomplish today. It's our like-minded energy, whereas inspiration is our challenge today. And purification is that hidden power underneath. The phrase for today is I pulse in order to influence realizing wisdom. I seal the process of fire with the solar tone of intention. I'm guided by the power of elegance. And if we look at this, we are still in our 10-day period of time where we will continue to be Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So when we come back Monday, we will still be in that phase, the last of the 10th days. Space weather, currently at 435.8 kilometers per second. That's the solar wind. Planetary K index, very quiet at the moment. 1, possibly get up to a 3 over the next 24 hours. The large coronal hole that's streaming wind down our way, it's starting to move off our direction, still facing us, so we'll still be feeling some effect from this most likely. M-class flare and X-class, both at 1% geomagnetic storm activity. appears to be stable both in the mid-latitudes and the upper latitudes. It is having a slight decrease, it looks like 60 down to 50 in the high latitudes, mid latitudes 25 to 15. So things look like they are subsiding. And finally, up in the sky tonight, we have a graphic here to show us. We've got the moon. Below the moon, we're going to see Scorpio, Mars. It says nearly full moon is low in the east, southeast at sunset and shines above Mars, and twilight fades. How soon can you pick out Mars? How much better will it be until you can pick out fainter Antares rising 8.5 degrees below Mars? What about Saturn's 7.5 degree left of Antares? Saturn and Antares rise at the same time. If you're near 35-degree north latitude, North Carolina, Central California, if you're north of there, Saturn rises first, south of there, then Antares. Okay, and then over the weekend, Mars's opposition over the weekend, we'll have the, see by the graphic here, Saturn's going to be below, low left. All right, so we're looking at Saturn, Scorpio, below the moon the next couple of nights. So there you have it. Transition getting ready to be made into a new sun sign. UFO News is up next.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk, thank you very much. Today, 4 stories. Story number 1 comes to us from Argentina. This took place back in February 19th. It's not often we get a UFO sighting that's over water, so this is exciting. Look closely, you can see the reflection of the light bouncing off of the water below the UFO. These lights are actually one single craft. The real question is, what's it doing over the water? Or did it come from below the surface, from an alien base far below? It's a question from Scott Waring. All right, the Planeta UFO and Sephora, Argentina. A UFO sighting in Desvío, Aragón, Santa Fe by Andrea Perez Simondini. It is interesting to see people make themselves available to research and trusting their account to our team to bring it to the reader's attention, seeking perhaps the possibility of other witnesses to the case, and if not, information on other cases having the same characteristics. Desvío Aragón is between Sauce Viejo and Coronado. It's a province of Santa Fe, Argentina. On February 19th, a witness, Luciano Castro, so it was that we received a message from Leandro Castro on Facebook detailing the sightings of an object that he was able to photograph. Here's the image. As we can see, message says, "Hi Andrea, good evening. I'm Leandro Castro. I'm from the locality of Desvío, Aragón, a little town between Sauce Viejo and Coronado in the province of Santa Fe. I live by the Coronado River, and I took the photo on Friday, February 19th, after one heavy storm that we had this month. In the photo, you can see something flying over the water. It was spectacular, on account of its lights and how close it was. Regrettably, we took some photos with our cell phones, and they can't not be seen clearly, but I was able to pull a little digital camera and take 2 shots. Having not used the camera for a while, its battery was running low, and it turned off. It almost seemed deliberate." Haha. Well, and Andrea, I hope you can use this photo. I've been following your page for a long time, and someday I'll visit your museum. Best regards. Okay, that's a good shot right there. All right, looking at the White House, let's listen to some of their nonsense here. It says, of course, this little guy, Secretary Josh Earnest, talking to the press, doesn't want to risk his career by answering a question of such importance that only President Obama should answer. I'm sure he has seen Obama put his foot in the butt of those who crossed him, and Josh likes his job. Obama still has time to release the UFO documents and tell the public the truth this year. It's on his mind. The Nobel Peace Prize weighs heavily around his neck. He's encouraging him to tell the public the truth because he knows the public deserves nothing less. Yeah, well, we'll see about that. We'll see about that. While past presidents and presidential candidates have joked about UFOs, Hillary Clinton is one of the first mainstream candidates to promise disclosure of classified Area 51 UFO and unexplained aerial phenomena documents should she be elected president. I want to open the files as much as we can, Clinton said in a recent radio interview. In the wake of a New York Times article that brought renewed attention to Clinton's most unexpected campaign commitment, President Barack Obama's White House was asked to respond. The answer from President Obama's press secretary Josh Earnest will disappoint UFO enthusiasts still hoping for disclosure on the federal level. I have to admit I don't have a tab for Area 51 in my briefing book today, Ernest began. After a joke from the press corps, Ernest proposed a grand conspiracy to keep him from answering the questions thoroughly. I'm not aware of any plans the president has to make public any information about this, Ernest said, ending hope that UFO disclosure will come from the White House in 2016. Stephen Bassett, an extraterrestrial disclosure lobbyist, told the New York Times that a Clinton presidency may be the best opportunity yet for genuine disclosures about the government knowledge of UFOs. Not only has Clinton evinced a past interest in extraterrestrials, in 1995 she was photographed carrying Are We Alone? Philosophical implications of the discovery of the extraterrestrial life by Paul Davies above, but she'll also have the backing of campaign chairman John Podesta, who has crusaded the release of government information on unexplained aerial phenomena for decades. While previous presidential administrations, Obama's included, have treated classification of Area 51 and UAP files as a joke. Clinton presidency might take the demand seriously. Folks, let me clear this up to you. No, she won't. Okay? Hillary is a liar. Liar. Crooked Hillary. Okay? It's a good name for her. She is not going to disclose anything about UFOs. And if you believe that, I got a bridge to sell you. Okay? It's a bridge to nowhere. But it's as realistic as Hillary's selling or telling anybody about UFOs. More than likely, she'll tell us that, oh, I had those files, I was going to release them, but darn it, they were on my server and all of those emails just magically disappeared, so I can't say anything. Hillary's not going to say anything. Obama's not going to say anything. You know what they're doing? They're laughing at the faces of the people in the UFO community, trying to make them appear to be stupid. None of us are stupid. But if we believe that she's actually going to do something, then I think we are moving into the realm of wishful thinking. Because Bill tried. Remember? Bill wanted to release it and they didn't allow that. Hillary's not going to be allowed. Trust me. Hillary's not going to say anything. Okay. UFO seen over Peru for over 3 hours. This was in this month, the 18th. This UFO hovered over the sky, Peru, for about 3 hours near the moon. Craft is not transparent, but it's not blended into the sky a bit due to the reflection of the blue off its surface. The UFO hovers, which is proof it's not a balloon or Venus. This is very similar in appearance to a UFO seen over the miners in Chile back in 2014. Okay, and it said this was seen for 3 hours over Peru. The video itself is only 2 minutes and 12 seconds. You can see that right up there. Seems just to be hanging there. It kind of looks like the moon. Okay, if we didn't know better, we could mistake that for the moon if we didn't see the moon out here in itself. And finally, one last piece about a documentary called the Ghost Rockets Documentary, a story of friendship and UFOs. Okay, this was back in 1946. A ghost rocket captured on film flying over Sweden, 1946. Okay, this is a year before Roswell. The Ghost Rockets documentary is a personal portrait of the members of the UFO Sweden and their ongoing attempts to solve one of Scandinavia's biggest UFO mysteries. Every year, the organization of UFO Sweden receives numerous reports about inexplicable occurrences usually dismissed as having to do with the moon, airplanes, satellites, or mental instability on the part of the witnesses. Sometimes, though, we get a report that they are unable to explain, one of them being the ghost rockets of 1946. Under the leadership of journalist Klaus Schwann, the organization starts a costly expedition trying to find the strange craft. Its thrilling premise notwithstanding, Ghost Rockets is not primarily a film about UFOs. It's a film about enthusiasts with a fervent interest about an organization struggling with the finance and shrinking membership numbers, about annual meetings over coffee and pastry, about existential issues debated in the summer night, and about our need to believe that the world is bigger than we think. Okay, read about the directors of the movie, Kirsten Ublacher and Michael Kavanaugh. I hope I pronounced your names correctly. If not, I apologize. And more information about it. It says in 1946, Sweden's skies were haunted by the ghost rockets, puzzling both military and the Swedish public alike. Recently, the Swedish National Archives released a documentary surrounding the investigation and made them available to the public for the first time. As part of the Ghost Rockets projects, we have scanned all of these documents and built an online investigation platform so that a potentially global UFO research team can access them. With today's technology, UFO enthusiasts from all over the world can help out by searching through these documents and perhaps find something inside these Ghost Rocket reports, a clue, a pattern, something that the Swedish military may have missed back in the 40s and the 50s. Okay? So there you go, Ghost Rocket documentary. All right, very good. That's our UFO report for today. Stay tuned. I'll be back. We might as well hit the wake up button one more time this week.
What if our government was responsible for some of the greatest crimes against this nation? Would you really want to know? These are big questions, but these questions deserve answers. It's time to demand the truth.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of them.
9/11 was an inside job. Kennedy was killed by the CIA. Jimmy Carter saw a UFO. Answers to secrets you need to know. So wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. The evidence is overwhelming. Step past your fear, take a look. Illuminati lies keep growing, but they're losing from your eyes. And wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. What would our founding fathers say if they were alive today? Must be turning in their graves. Redcoats are coming, big brothers watching. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. What if I land and two if I see? And I on the opposite shore will be ready to ride and spread the alarm through every Middlesex village and farm. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. When a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up! Patriots arise! It's time to demand the truth.
All right, continuing on. This first story here, well, this could be a rumor, but if true, then something that we should consider. So I want to bring this forth, and then we can investigate further, see if there's any reality to this. But this claims that Queen Elizabeth was overheard talking about abdicating the throne. Says Queen was overheard saying that military intelligence suggests that if Britain doesn't leave Europe, then World War III will occur. Queen Elizabeth stunned the BBC production staff yesterday while preparing to deliver the Queen's speech at the state opening of Parliament, hinting that she is planning to abdicate the throne and flee the UK, a BBC insider claims. One is making the necessary preparations to abandon ship, Her Majesty said. A violent storm is coming, the likes of which Britain has never seen. Her Majesty was speaking to her advisors while talking on the Parliament Row estate and imperial state crown in the Roman chamber. However, she was already wearing a microphone and her comments were heard by the whole gallery. She seemed angry that she had to remain neutral in her speech. She said there is a solid evidence from military top brass that if we don't Brexit, there is an inevitable World War III scenario that will play out, the insider said. So, once again, don't know if this is real. This could simply be a rumor, but nonetheless wanted to bring it to your attention. Now, we're going to switch gears from there, because we've certainly seen some strange events taking place in the world, haven't we? Definitely have had some strange events. So, remember the Mayan calendar? The Mayan calendar talking about the changes that were going to be taking place in the world, and we looked at December 21st, 2012, and saw that date as a time when, because according to Hollywood, everything was going to be destroyed. But the Mayans said that was never the intent. It was never going to be like that. Well, the day came and went. There are those who said nothing happened. There are those who believe that we did make some energetic shifts because the way we're moving through the solar system and so on and so forth. Well, there's been calculations that have been done, and some of the calculations have pointed to the calendar being off by 3.5 years, which makes the ending of the calendar date today, now. So what I wanted to show you first these calculations here, because they are pretty interesting. Now, these calculations, I pulled these off of a forum that I visit. There's a really great forum out there. It's called Godlike Productions. A lot of great information. You got to weed through it. There's a lot of nonsense that's there, but you do find really serious discussions by people who are doing some really awesome research. So here's a breakdown of numbers. I found this was a really good breakdown here. So we've got the Baktun, 144,000 days. We've got 13 Baktuns in the Mayan calendar. Okay, the Baktun is that column from top to bottom. So there's 13 of these Baktuns. 144,000 days times 13 Baktuns equals 1,872,000 solar years. So we've got the Gregorian calendar, solar year is 365.2425 days. The Julian calendar is 365.25, and the Habab calendar, that's the part of the Mayan calendar, the solar year is 365 days. So we have a little discrepancy, but it's roughly the same, right? 365 and some change. So if we take these numbers here of the solar days, and we're going to now divide them between the various differences here, we have the 1,872 divided by the Gregorian solar year, 365, it equals 5,125.36 years. If we do the same with the Julian year, it's 5,125.256 years. So it's roughly the same. And then if we look over at the Hab, we find something different, it is 5,128.76 years. So with both the Julian calendar and the Gregorian calendar, we could see these dates, 5125 and 5125, but here we have 5128.76. Well, if we do the subtraction, take this number here away from either one of these numbers here, we're going to find out that we have a difference of 3.5 years. Okay? 3.5 years. And that 3.5 year difference, we add the days, that's 1,260 days. So if we were to take that 1,260 days and we add it to the day of December 21st, and we were to recalibrate things, we see a couple different dates here. The Gregorian calendar puts us at December 21st. The Julian calendar puts us at December 8th, 2012. But the Hob calendar puts us at June 3rd, 2016. There are some dates I'm going to show you that show that it's actually today. So we're in a window of time, basically. We seem to be in a window of time that stretches anywhere from now through June 3rd, where the Mayan calendar, as we know, could be ending. So let's take a look at some of these things here. This is 10 reasons why the Mayan calendar ends on May 21st, 2016. It says 1. The Mayan calendar did not end on December 21st, will end at a future date. The end date of the May 21st has been cited on at least 2 prior occasions. It's called the Mayan calendar for it ends in May, not December. Planetary alignment January 20th through February 20th, 2016 was a once-in-a-lifetime 5,125-year event. NASA was caught red-handed lying about the said 2016 planetary alignment, but why? Planet X was already discovered in our solar system on January 25, 2016, was allegedly discovered. The blood moon prophecy, for example, the opening of the 6th seal in the Bible was fulfilled March 9th, 2016. Planetary retrograde took place April 28, 2016, was a once in a 5,125-year event. Cicero and Plato refer to 2016 as the great year when the planets align. And finally, the lead have now evacuated Earth for the ISS, International Space Station. So when we take this and we combine into there the story of the Queen leaving, potentially, it's just a rumor at this point in time, starts to kind of fit in here of wondering if there is some connection, right? So those are something for us to figure out. So I'm trying to make an adjustment here. All right. Seem to be moving better than we were momentarily. Okay, so continuing on. It says there's an article here from David Chase Taylor. It says, based on breaking news and cosmic events, it appears that the Mayan calendar will end on Saturday, May 21st, 2016. This is the apocalypse, judgment day, and the end time which has been prophesied for centuries. But have no fear, the messianic age is soon here. The notion that May 21st is the end of the Mayan calendar was foreshadowed by a worldwide $100 million media campaign led by Pastor Harold Camping, who claimed that Judgment Day would take place May 21st, 2011, as well as the blood moon prophecy, which was fulfilled with the 6th eclipse on March 9, 2016. According to Dr. John B. Carson, director of the University of Maryland Center for Archaeoastronomy, the Mayan calendar did not end on December 21st, 2012. There were no Mayan predictions foretelling the end of the world on that date. In other words, the Mayan calendar is ongoing and will end at a future date. The notion is corroborated by the fact that the Mayan calendar prophesies the end of the Fourth World, which obviously did not transpire on December 21st, but was erroneously regarded as the end date of a 5,125-year-long cycle and the Mesoamerican long count calendar. The Mayan calendar was given its name because each month ends because it ends in the month of May, a term which consistently speaking of the month of Maya. That's why it's entitled the May A calendar, not the December A calendar. Consequently, it can be deduced that since no transformative cosmic events transpired on or around December 21st, they will occur at a future date as prophesied by the Mayans. Since the Mayan calendar is inherently astrological in nature, it stands to reason that the end date will culminate with a series of astrological events. Although the Mayan calendar allegedly ended December 21st, 2012, there's no series of remarkable blood moons, no planetary alignments, no planetary retrograde, and no solar eclipses preceding it. In other words, despite all the Hollywood hype around that date, there was no cosmic climax. However, this is not the case with December 21st. The planetary alignment of Jupiter, Mars, Mercury, Saturn, and Venus from January 20th, 2016 through February 20th, and the retrograde status of 5 planets on April 28th, once in a 5,125-year event, which is designed to foreshadow the end of the Fourth World. That is why 2016 is known as the Great Year in astronomy, which the Greek philosopher Plato referred to as the perfect year, in which the celestial bodies and the diurnal rotation of the fixed stars return to the original positions. The Roman philosopher Cicero wrote the De Natura Deorum. The great year will be completed when the sun, moon, and the 5 planets, having all finished their courses, return to the same positions relative to one another, which is eventually what happened during the planetary alignment of 2016. So here we have a little timeline. It's going from April 15th, 2014, with the lunar eclipse, first of the blood moons, to the second blood moon, October 8th. Then into 2015, we had a solar eclipse on March 20th, followed by the third blood moon, April 4th. The fourth of the 4 blood moons on the 27th of April. This was the fulfillment of the blood moon prophecy. January 20th of this year, planetary alignment began. January 25th, alleged discovery of Planet 9 or Planet X. February 20th, planet alignment ends. Solar eclipse took place on March 9th. The opening of the biblical 6th seal of a solar eclipse took place March 9th as well. April 23rd, Earth's magnetic field allegedly collapses. April 28th, planetary retrograde. So exactly what will transpire Saturday, May 21st is not known, but the eschatological prophecies found in the Bible and the Mayan lore suggest prophecy known as 3 days of darkness will commence, resulting in at least a 72-hour solar eclipse that will shock the world to its very core. The term eclipse and collapse are consonantly the same for the impending solar eclipse due to the arrival of unknown planetary body will plunge the world into darkness, chaos, and madness on May 21st, resulting in a global collapse of the Babylonian system. That's where the term apocalypse was eventually derived for the impending solar eclipse and subsequent collapse that will transpire in the year 2016. The letter P is the 16th letter in the Roman English alphabet. Consequently, the term apocalypse equates to collapse, P collapse, or 16 collapse. The notion that cosmic events will trigger collapse on planet Earth was foreshadowed on April 23, 2016, 28 days prior to the 21st, when it was erroneously reported that the Earth's magnetic field collapsed. Although the claim was later debunked, the notion of cosmic-induced collapse was made nonetheless. Exactly which planets or planets will come between Earth and the Sun is not yet known, but it appears that so-called dwarf planet called Ceres is scheduled to arrive Saturday, May 21st. The notion was foreshadowed on January 25, 2016, when it was reported that Planet 9 was discovered in our solar system. In the aftermath of 3 days of darkness, the European Space Agency and NASA will predictably state that the prolonged eclipse is a result of a foreign entity within our solar system, either aliens, Nibiru, Planet 9, Planet X, etc., not Ceres, as a result of the planetary alignment and planetary retrograde. As foreshadowed by the film entitled 2012, the end of the Mayan calendar and subsequent arrival of the planetary body will trigger the long-awaited cleansing of Earth, including but not limited to earthquakes, hailstorms, lightning storms, mass flooding, thunderstorms, and volcanic eruptions. Nevertheless, it is imperative to note that good people of the Earth have nothing to worry about on May 21st. As the great Mahatma Gandhi once said, there is nothing that wastes the body like worry, and one who has any faith in God should be ashamed to worry about anything whatsoever. The day of May 21st will eventually beget harmonic convergence, a great shift in the Earth's energy from warlike to peaceful, ushering a period of cleansing whereby many of the Earth's false structures of separation will simultaneously collapse forever. Harmonic conversions will also bring about the so-called end of history and the beginning of a new 5,125-year cycle. Evils of the modern world will finally cease and the birth of the fifth world will begin. All right, and continuing on, we have a bit more here going into all of this, but you get the idea, right? You get the idea. So we are going through a change. Possibly this Mayan calendar has come to an end. We certainly see remnants of all of the nonsense that's taking place in the world. You know, there is a lot of battles, though. You remember the other day I told you that the doctors are being told that they have to perform abortions and sex reassignment surgeries. Well, yesterday Oklahoma passed a bill saying that anyone who does a abortion will be criminalized. So they are standing up to it, just as there have been a number of states, 13 at the last time I counted, that were standing up to Obama and his transgender bathroom policy. There are those standing up against this. People are pushing back. We're not just taking this, you know. But it's all part of the change that is going on. It's all indicative. This isn't the change is what's causing things. Remember, everything's cause and effect. It's not just happening in and of itself without any reason. All right, here's an article that says the Mayan calendar end date, Obama, America in 2016. It says throughout my study of the Mayan long count calendar, I've come to understand that it is mathematically and astronomically very accurate. It also seemingly tied to the biblical timeline of the end, as the late David Flynn quite convincingly demonstrated. Furthermore, I have little doubt that the effects of galactic alignment, such as pole wandering, massive CMEs, tremendous earthquakes, drastic weather changes, and even the approach of a rogue planetary body will be forthcoming and are in fact already impacting the Earth. However, on the other hand, I am also certain that the Mayan calendar hyped end date represents essentially a satanic corruption of the biblical gospel in the heavens regarding the progression of end times events. With some research into the Mayan lifestyle, which included human sacrifice and tearing out of beating hearts from the chest of unfortunate victims, it should be evident as to what entity the Mayan people worship, and it clearly was not the one true God. However, this said, what is Satan after all but the great deceiver and the imitator? And then the Mayan calendar represents a satanic deception of some form. What type of deception is revealed exactly? For the answer, and indeed all truth, we turn to the pages of the Holy Bible. There is one specific duration of time which clearly established for the reign of the Antichrist, and that is 1,260 days, or 42 months. And the passage says from Daniel 12:7, and I heard a man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and swear by him that liveth forever, that it shall be a time, times and a half, and when he shall accomplish to scatter the power of the holy place, and all these shall be fulfilled. So it goes into a breakdown of a prophetic year's 360 days. Revelation says that there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given him to continue 42 months. All right. So that does the addings here of the extra days, a little math going on here. um, talks about Lucifer. It says, in the spirit of Lucifer, which will indwell the final king of Babylon, the President of the United States of America. Months prior to his re-election, I wrote about the distinct possibility of Obama being this final king, Lucifer. Link to that article if you want to read it. So where is this leading? There's a profound connection between the Mayan calendar, America, and Obama, involving the number 260. 260 is the number of days in a Mayan ritual year, which is termed a Zolkin. We could then say that the Mayan calendar is based on the number 260, which clearly is, but even more fundamentally based on the prime factor 13. It is the end date, to December 21st, 2012. In fact, that has a signature check. Okay, and then we have some more math here. Number 13 is, of course, clearly identified as America's birth, as 13 original colonies, and defined by the word rebellion, as biblical scholar Dr. E.W. Bollinger points out. Hence, every occurrence of the number 13, and likewise every multiple of it, stamps that which it stands in connection with rebellion, apostasy, defection, corruption, disintegration, revolution, or some kindred idea. The meaning of the number 13 is best viewed through the lens of the first occurrence in the Bible, Genesis 14:4. 12 years they served Chevendolamer, and in the 13th year they rebelled. Now, turning to the number 2260, look at this. An article here. It says, from and including Thursday, July 4th, 1776, the birth of the United States, to, but not including Friday, August 4th, 1961, which was the supposed birth of President Barack Obama. It is 67,600 days from the start date to the end date, which comes out to be 260 times 260. This number is defined by 20-fold rebellion. Precisely 260 Zolkins of 260 days each, 20-fold rebellion squared. All right, so scroll down a little bit more here. Well, there's a lot more to this, okay? So I'm just going to leave this to you. A lot of math, a lot of stuff. Basically, what we've got is a readjustment or re-looking at the information. So is the calendar coming to an end? Are we in that cycle of time? Well, if so, we'll know soon enough, because that date has arrived. Sometime anywhere over the next 24 to 48 hours, we should certainly be feeling, if there is something of this nature happening, we should be feeling the effects of it. And if not today, not tomorrow, certainly over this window of time between now and the 5th of July, the 3rd of July, actually. So we'll find out. We shall find out, and whatever happens, let's just enjoy the experience. How about that? All right, here's an article called, Is Power to Heal Ourselves Increasing? That's a very good question, because, healing ourselves is very important. New studies are showing that placebos are becoming more effective in treating illness. Researchers are perplexed by recent studies that have placebos performing very well compared to new and experimental pharmaceuticals. Meanwhile, the science of psychoneural immunology is echoing what mystics and shamans have been saying forever, which is we have untold powers to heal ourselves. This is coming together between the spirit and scientific communities, shows an unprecedented opportunity for humans to embrace vibrant, healthy, thriving lives. Recent cases on placebos come from McGill University and is published in Pain, the Journal of the International Association for the Study of Pain. I first learned about this in a wonderful article by Carolyn Grigor in the Huffington Post entitled Placebo Effects Puzzle Has Scientists Scratching Their Heads. I highly recommend reading the entire article, which shows how the placebo effect is exploding in the United States but nowhere else. This may have something to do with the fact that the United States has 5% of the world's population. It consumes 75% of the world's prescription drugs. This above study here focused on painkillers, but similar results have been observed for antidepressants. With more than 1 in 5 Americans taking mental health drugs, the number of people seeking alternatives and preventative measures continues to grow. Yoga, meditation, healthy diet, and exercise do not come in the form of a pill, but tend to address the larger picture of well-being that is often overlooked by the medical establishment. All of this points to the innate ability of our bodies to self-regulate, seek balance, and heal. You would think that we would be eager to listen to our own bodies when they speak to us through symptoms, yet we usually do the exact opposite by numbing the pain or ignoring what we feel. Peter Levine, author of Waking the Tiger, is an expert in trauma resolution and a lead voice in the field of somatic experiencing, which invites us to tune into our bodies as well as our emotions in order to reclaim our health. Through hundreds of hours of client sessions, Levine began to witness how clients' bodies told their stories of trauma, even if the clients had no specific memories. Once Levine guided them into the sensate experiences of trauma, the body took over and finished what was unprocessed or incomplete. Clients received the added gifts of increased body awareness, a strong connection to self, a shift in deep-seated pattern, more regulated nervous system, and sense of mastery. The mind, our beliefs, emotions, and lifestyles play a much larger role in our well-being than we tend to recognize. While researchers are wondering how to avoid the dreaded monkey wrench on the placebo effect in testing new drugs, the general public is recognizing that taking charge of one's health doesn't need to always start with a call to the doctor or a new prescription. As Dr. Carolyn Gregoire underscores in her Huffington Post article, if the placebo effect continues on its current trajectory, American pharmaceutical companies may find it increasingly difficult to get consumers to buy new drugs. Well, therein lies the whole challenge. You see, we understand, and the innate ability we have is to heal ourselves. Physician, heal thyself. It's an old term. It's been around for a while. Healing ourselves is part of the package that we came with, yet we are not taught to do that. We are taught to look outside of ourselves. We are taught to believe that healing comes from outside as with opposed to from within. So we reach out to doctors. We reach out to pharmaceutical companies. And pharmaceutical companies, they have no vested interest in healing you. They don't want to heal people because if they heal you, they make no money. There's no money in the cure. A pharmaceutical company wants to keep selling you the drugs, keep selling you the drugs, keep selling you the drugs. And what do we hear about these different pharmaceutical drugs? People are dying from them. People are becoming addicted to them and dying. Yet we're not cracking down on this. We crack down on other types of drugs. Natural drugs like marijuana is being cracked down across the country in various ways. Yet there are stories about people healing themselves from the benefits of something like cannabis oil. But pharmaceuticals, which kill many, many, many people and have really screwed up the lives of people, even though they haven't killed them because of their effects, they're hurting people every day. And yet they continue to be here, and we're not stomping down on that. Why? Because big business is involved. It's a money-making venture, and that is the problem. So once we get away from that and realize that, and we go inside, we're going to find that the power to heal ourselves lies within each one of us. And once we are able to do that, it'll be a big difference. We kind of lock ourselves in this way of really understanding and seeing things so clearly, and it's time to move out of that into a place of clarity. Here's an article I wanted to get to because it makes me laugh a little bit, because I know we all ask this question from time to time. Remind me again, why did I incarnate to this? Why did I incarnate to this place? Do you ever wonder why you decided to incarnate to these lower vibrations of third density? When we were back on the other side with Source, life seemed so easy. We had the answer to all universal questions and lived in the complete vibration of love. There was no dissension, hatred, ego, or financial concerns, just love. After many years of being in this vibration, you forgot what it was like to live in a third dimensional vibration, yet you were fortunate enough to have been here in at least other previous incarnations and remembered how your spiritual progression was raised exponentially by being in a world full of duality. You swore to yourself that this time you would not allow the lower third dimensional vibrations to bring you down. You planned on bringing back the vibration of love with you to this planet, but your memories of being with Source were once again wiped away from your immediate memories as the third dimensional brainwashing began yet again. From birth, you were indoctrinated into a system that promotes subservience, control, and conformity. You always felt cognitive dissonance over this, but weren't sure why. It seemed like everybody else was conforming to the system, and this is the way it is supposed to be. You attended a school and sometimes caught yourself daydreaming as if your higher self was telling you a formal education is not what is important in life. As a child, you were taught to play sports and learned aggressive, self-serving behaviors and only reinforced the divide and conquer mentality that is forced upon us by our societal expectations. You were pacified with mundane television programs that not only took away further from you who you truly are, but helped to influence what you thought you wore, ate, drank, etc. As you grew older and started to discover how corrupt the system has become on Earth, not only in your home country but over this planet, you began to seek answers to questions that are not taught in school, such as what is our origin of human existence and why are there so many opposing religions when there is only one source. You become trapped in a system that relies on monetary success in order to survive, making your economic slave that is controlled by the many, that the few is controlled by the many. Unknowingly you become part of that system. Every one of these situations gave you a chance to learn and grow spiritually. For a while, you simply forgot how these challenges would benefit you. You knew that at some point in this incarnation, you would awaken to find your true self along with your purpose for being here. It seemed so easy. When you were on the other side of Source, you wanted to make millions of soul contracts because they all seemed so easy to achieve while you are in the presence of Source. Instead, you listened to Source and ended up making thousands of soul contracts, which all seemed achievable in this lifetime. Some of these soul contracts involved people who you would only meet for a brief minute, but somehow they changed your life or you changed theirs. They helped you lead you back to your path of enlightenment or vice versa. While you may never personally know these people, you were best friends with them when you were back with Source. Did you ever see someone for the first time and just know that you've known them personally from somewhere? Chances are you did know this person when you were back with Source. You also wanted to come back to be part of the Great Awakening. We are at the point in time when our planet is completing a 26,000-year cycle called the precession of the equinoxes. We are also at the end of a great cycle in which our solar system has completed its revolution around the sun in Sirius. You said to yourself, there is no way I'm going to miss this. Besides, you forgot what it is like to experience duality and polarity. In the end, this shithole has been an amazing experience filled with an abundance of opportunities for spiritual growth. If you decide to come back here in another incarnation, look for this article. Remember this. You are the light at the end of the tunnel. All right, this is from Greg Prescott at In5D. So, a good article, good reminder. I know we all ask that question from time to time. What am I doing here? Why am I here? What is the purpose for all of this nonsense, right? I mean, some of it seems really nonsensical when we hear what's going on in the world. Just seems to make no sense at times. Seems to make no sense whatsoever. But we learn something from it each and every time, and I guess that's the beauty of the process, that we continue to learn. That we continue to learn. All right, so that moves us finally into channeled message for today. Perhaps let's get over to there, see if this is going to play for us.
Gabriel Daily Message / Thursday, May 19, 2016 by Shelley Young. We encourage you to become love detectives, to actively be on the lookout for the love that exists for you, always. Love presents itself to you in many ways: in the heart-shaped leaf on the sidewalk, from the sun beaming its love upon you, from the kindness of another, from the affection of an animal, or the sweet trust of a child. The more you choose to see its existence for you right now, the more you will experience its constant presence in your life. Once you recognize love is a stream that is always available to you, you will embrace it even more, allowing it to flow to you, and through you, with appreciation, wonder, and joy, and that, dear ones, is how life becomes absolutely magical. Archangel Gabriel.
Alright, so very good message about love, because that is what's important. And if we are truly going through these shifts we're going through, then love is the thing that's going to get us through. Remembering that process, because that's what we feel when we're sourced, that connection. It's only when we come down here to this physical realm that we're cut off from that in various ways. We have limitations, we have labels for it, we have all sorts of ways we look at it, which is different. Gives us the opportunity to rise above our thoughts to connect to something bigger. So close your eyes, take a deep breath, and exhale. Take another deep breath, and exhale again. Another breath, and exhale. Now let's imagine ourselves walking the path of life, looking at all the people on the planet. And as we see everybody on the planet moving around, going through their day-to-day life, we see people that are happy, we see people that are sad, and we see everything in between. As we watch these people, we see many moving through life like zombies, just going through the motions, completely unattached. And so we send love to these individuals. And as we send that love, it's like a key that goes in and unlocks something that has been missing from each one of them. And one by one, these people begin to see the love that has been inside of themselves the whole time. And as they unlock and recognize this love that's been there, they're able to share their feelings and experiences with others. And one by one, people open up to the love that is within them. And we realize that as this love expresses itself and shines through each and every one of us, we recognize the opportunity we have to move through all of the challenges smoothly and easily. For we understand love at a much deeper level than the physical world allows us at times the opportunity to understand. Heavenly Father, Heavenly Mother, thank you for shining the source of all of your beingness through us into this world. Thank you for shining the light of truth in our lives, and for blessing us with the energies of the Christ, the divine autogens. Thank you for the opportunities that you have given us this day and each day to rise above these physical realities, these physical chains, to experience the freedom of being completely unchained as we reach to understanding our connection to you, the source of all. We thank and we bless you. We thank and we bless you. Now let the subconscious mind continue on the journey. Continue on this journey of sending out light and love. And let's bring the conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3 coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2 coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1 coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale. And open your eyes. Alright, my friends, that is it. That's the show for week. Lots of information, lots of craziness going on in the world. let's see how it all plays out now. We have a full moon coming up tomorrow. We've got a half hour from now, we've got a new sun sign taking place. And then, as we've learned over this show, quite possibly the end of the Mayan calendar, moving us on into the next phase, the next cycle. So we'll see how this all plays out as we enter a time which seems to be quite interesting and possibly quite significant. Keep your eyes open, keep your heart open, keep your faith intact, and just move through these times as smoothly as possible. Everything's going to be all right. Everything definitely will be all right. We're all here to make this a better place, and if this is the big change we've been waiting for, if this is upon us, this time we're in, then we should all rejoice and be glad, for now is the opportunity that we've been waiting for to really make the change that we've come here to make. Have a great weekend, my friends. Keep your eyes open. I'll be back next week with more news and information. Till then, I love you. Keep loving each other, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.